really looking forward to today. We had a great workforce summit yesterday afternoon. Really forward to today. And then for those of you who still haven't signed up, there's a tour of the Hydrogen Proto Hub out at Pickle Research Campus tomorrow morning, if you're interested. So I'm basically just going to kick it off, introduce Jay Hartzell to give a few words, and then turn it over to Representative Drew Darby, and then I'll say a few words to kick things off a little bit more. But I just want to introduce Jay, President Hartzell.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to campus and to Rolling Hall. This is the home of the graduate business program. When I was dean of the business school, this is where I was. As I joked, back when I was happy before I got this job as president. I want to say thanks for having me, Brian. Also, more importantly, I want to thank Brian and all of his team for the leadership of the UT Energy Institute and all the ways that you contribute as part of the faculty and have built this great part of campus and made such an impact that you have. So thank you very much. And just as Texas is the energy state, we believe that UT Austin is the energy university. We think that claim has a lot of credibility because we have outstanding and nationally recognized faculty members like Brian Korgel and so many others in this room and on campus. I know you have a full day ahead, and I just want to briefly say welcome. I want to say thank you for being here and really just take a minute to emphasize the importance of energy research at our university. Here at UT, we have marked 2024 as our year of AI, and it's a way for us to highlight and build upon our leadership in that increasingly prominent field. In my annual State of the University address last month, I said in a similar way, we see next year as our year of energy. And we're doing that because we recognize that a growing global population and rising demand require increasing supplies of secure and affordable energy from all sources. We also know there's a need to build new and stronger energy systems and protect our environment by reducing emissions across industries and around the world. Few industries and challenges are more complex, but at the same time rife with opportunity than energy. And no university knows energy better or is more prepared to help meet these challenges than the University of Texas. While many universities are dedicated to addressing our world's future energy needs, UT, we think, is set apart by our unique combination of strengths as well as our history. We have the scale and breadth of excellence and expertise in energy, a sense of both place and of possibility, and a pragmatic, open-minded approach to embracing the full spectrum of solutions that no university in the world can match. Many top-tier universities have chosen to disavow oil and gas, and that's just not our approach. However, our work embraces that other forms of energy just as fervently, and that certainly includes hydrogen. We're proud to have been selected by the DOE to be the High Velocity Hydrogen Hub's lead academic institution. Along with our industry partners as well as nonprofits, we're working to advance the clean hydrogen ecosystem in Texas and along the Gulf Coast, which is already the nation's largest hydrogen producer. In fact, in a little while, as you heard from Brian, you're going to get to experience some things as part of our campus, and you're also going to hear from one of our energy partners, Austin Knight, the VP of Chevron's hydrogen business. I was talking to Austin backstage. Austin survived a finance class from me in the MBA program in Houston a few years ago. That helped clean up his Texas A&M resume. And I thought I was taking credit, and then he did note that his career is not technically in finance. So I'm happy to have helped. So despite taking my class, he's turned out pretty successful. I want to highlight a couple of ways that our university is engaged in research and scholarship around hydrogen. First, earlier this year at our J.J. Pickle Research Campus, we cut the ribbon on a first-of-its-kind proto-hub that generates zero-carbon hydrogen using water and electrolysis powered by solar and wind energy. This hydrogen helps provide clean, reliable power for our Texas Advanced Computing Center. It was developed as part of the H2 at Scale in Texas and Beyond project that's led by our Center for Electromechanics. The Pickle campus is also home to the Bureau of Economic Geology, the oldest research unit at UT Austin, which has served for decades as a trusted scientific voice on energy, environmental, and economic issues. You'll hear from some faculty and staff from the Bureau today. In fact, you're going to hear from faculty throughout the university, and you will see that more than any single institute or research project, it's the talent and caliber of our faculty and staff that makes so many of us bullish on our role as the Energy University. And if you're not already, I think you'll be pretty bullish as well after the next day. I'd also like to welcome now a Longhorn who's been a champion for hydrogen from his seat in the Texas legislature. Over nearly 2 decades in the Texas House, State Representative Drew Darby from San Angelo has been a champion for our state's energy economy. He currently serves as chairman of the House Redistricting Committee. I can only imagine what that job is like. And he's previously served as chairman of the Energy Resources Committee. Chairman Darby authored legislation that gave oversight of hydrogen transport and storage to the State Railroad Commission and created the Texas Hydrogen Production Policy Council. And by serving in the legislature, he and his colleagues have earned our enduring respect. My job is not easy, but at least nobody calls me into an emergency session on short notice. We're so grateful for his work on energy issues and also on matters related to higher education. So thank you for having me here. Thanks again, Brian. And please join me in welcoming Chairman Drew Darby.
Good morning. I took a walk down memory lane. This site used to be the site for the famous Moore Burger. It was a burger joint when I was back in college, and I used to walk over at the behest of a couple of guys named Darren Talbert and Tommy Nobis. They would send me over here every evening to get them a burger and fries. And so I have horror memories hiking over in rain, sleet, and snow to get those guys burgers from this exact site. But it's good to be with you this morning. This is a wonderful facility, and it's always good to be back on the UT campus. Thanks, of course, to President Hartzell and his leadership, and certainly to Dr. Korgel. Thank you for your leadership with the Energy Institute. The UT Austin Energy Institute is premier in this part of the world. And we thank you, Brian, for all your efforts in that regard. There are many faculty members, I hope, in attendance today. Dr. Margaret Cook with Houston Advanced Research Center, and Dr. Emily Beagle. I think I saw Dr. Beagle here earlier. There you are in the back. With UT Austin, both serve on the Policy Advisory Council at Powerhouse, Texas. There is a special relationship between the legislature, industry, and academia. Energy production in Texas is not and cannot be an island. We all need stakeholder groups to be working together, and not just in session, but every day, to ensure our grid remains reliable and our companies remain innovative and competitive and prosperous. A rising tide lifts all boats. Industry provides academia with vital data for their research. Academia provides industry with ways to innovate. And the legislature facilitates to ensure that we can support all our partners and protect the best interests of Texans. This special relationship has made Texas the #1 energy state for over a century, and it will continue to do so far into the future. Simply put, the hydrogen economy in Texas does not exist without the work of academia. It does not exist without companies willing to develop and sell the product. And it doesn't exist without common sense laws. Who would have thought we'd call upon common sense laws to stop unnecessary regulations? But that's the task before us. In the 88th legislature, I was happy to pass House Bill 2847, which established the Hydrogen Policy Hydrogen Production Policy Council. I'm just going to refer to it as HPPC. Within the Railroad Commission, the council brings together academia, industry, and policymakers to develop the best solutions to foster the growth of the hydrogen energy here in Texas. My office has worked with Chairman Christy Craddock with the Railroad Commission and others from the industry to talk about important and critical work of the council. We expect their report to be issued this fall, and we will look to that report for important policy recommendations that they make to the legislature for us to enact in the next legislative session, which begins in next January. So it's a remarkable symbiotic relationship that we all have to have here in this wonderful state between industry, the folks that are represented here today, between the legislature, and certainly with academia and President Hartzell and UT. I'm incredibly proud of the work my alma mater has done to drive the hydrogen energy economy forward. In April, I attended the ribbon cutting for the new hydrogen proto hub at the J.J. Pickle Research facility. I'm amazed at the dedication and hard work of so many of our young students and experienced professors. For we all know what starts here not only changes, but energizes the world. And I know there's more work to be done. I look forward to standing right by the University of Texas as they continue this world-changing work, and I hope you will all do the same. Welcome to Austin. Welcome to this wonderful institute. Learn a lot today. Deploy what you learned back within your businesses or within your companies so that we can continue to grow Texas. And with that, I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. Dr. Korgel, thank you for your work in this important field. Thank you.
All right, that was great to hear from both President Hartzell and Representative Darby. Hydrogen is been one of the biggest topics on my plate as Energy Institute Director, I would say. So I've been directing the Energy Institute for about 3 years, a little over 3 years now. My first foray into hydrogen came several years ago when a company came to UT, talked to Deji Akinbande, one of my colleagues in electrical engineering, and this company was really interested in doing research on 2D materials for fuel cell membranes. So we've been doing that for 5 or 6 years now, and it's been really interesting. So my group does, materials kind of work. But as Energy Institute Director, it's been fascinating to see the range of research that happens at UT. There are over 80 faculty and staff who do research on hydrogen in some fashion at UT, all the way covering policy to geological storage of hydrogen, the materials themselves, at-scale prototyping, so through the Hydrogen at Scale project and the Hydrogen Proto Hub. So we have the Center for Electromechanics that hosts the Hydrogen Proto Hub. We have the Bureau of Economic Geology and our Petroleum and Geosystems Engineering Department that does work on geological aspects of hydrogen, hydrogen storage, producing hydrogen in the ground. We've got the Center for Electrochemistry, Texas Materials Institute, all doing work on the fundamental materials that are related to that. We pretty much basically cover everything. So when I came in as Energy Institute Director under my predecessor, Varun Rai, in the Energy Institute, there was a recognition in working with Alan Lloyd and Bob Hebner, Mark Schuster, that hydrogen is going to be really important for our future. So they created a website called H2 at UT, held an event that was really forward-looking and thinking about what is the role of hydrogen in Texas. And I think that early work that happened maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago really set the stage for where UT is now. We're the academic lead of the High Velocity Hydrogen Hub, so that hub was selected for funding by DOE for $1.2 billion of funding. We've got a couple of, actually 3 of the key partners in High Velocity you'll hear talks from today. And at the end of the day, I'll talk to Liz Dalton Ramsey, who's Executive Director of High Velocity. So you'll get to hear a little bit about that hydrogen hub. That hub came out of a lot of effort and work by many people at UT and in our region. So I started as Energy Institute Director in September 1, 2021, and shortly after that in November, the bipartisan infrastructure law came out. In that, the BIL was identified that there would be $8 billion set aside for at least 4 hydrogen hubs. A couple of those focused on hydrogen from natural gas, from renewables, and from nuclear. So the unique thing about Texas is we have lots of natural gas, we have lots of renewables, we have the largest hydrogen economy currently in the United States. So everybody thought Texas should win a hub, okay? But you have to execute on that vision, and it was basically trying to figure out who's doing what, who's going to partner with whom, how do we win a hub, and over over the course of all of that dialogue, a team was formed, the high velocity team, and UT has been really important to that team, I think. So we're really proud to be here at Texas doing hydrogen work. I think Hydrogen Day, today is National Hydrogen Day, October 8th. The atomic weight, well, some of you have heard me say this multiple times, but the atomic weight of hydrogen is 1.008 grams per mole. So 1008, that is National Hydrogen Day. Apparently it's National Hydrogen and Fuel Cell Day, but that's too many words for me, so I just say National Hydrogen Day. And it's today, and we're really proud to have this event here at UT.